Now it's time for Toker Talk Radio, the voice of the marijuana nation.
What are you people? On dope?
Where you can toke.
I inhale frequently.
Or you can talk.
I experimented with marijuana and didn't inhale.
Or you can toke and talk.
10 federal criminal penalties for possession of up to 1 ounce of marijuana.
While we talk about toke on Toker Talk Radio.
So, by the way, when it comes to pot, you know, if you're 40 years old, you live in a log cabin in Oregon, you got 12 giant pot plants in your backyard, have a ball.
Live from beautiful Portland, Oregon at Rolla J Studios.
Hey, this is great. Just not cannabis.
Plus your calls live at 971-533-7111.
They're walking on their pants with their cap on backwards, listening to Enema Man and Snoopy Poop Dog.
What's to keep somebody from getting all potted up on weed and then getting behind the wheel? Gateway theory doesn't work. It's a reality.
Holland, is it real? Don't tease me.
We're locking up people that take a couple of puffs of marijuana, and the next thing you know, they got 10 years.
And now, here's your host, the guru of ganja graphics, the sultan of sativa statistics, and the worst nightmare of a reefer mad prohibitionist. A polite, perspicacious, productive pothead with a propensity for PowerPoint. Radical Russ Belville.
Welcome back, tokers and tokettes and non-toking lovers of liberty. It's 4:02 in the Pacific Time Zone. Time for Toker Talk Radio, where we let down what's left of my hair and just relax. It's our 500th show here. 500 shows since we went independent. We left NORML in 2012, May of 2012, and in June of 2012 restarted the show as an independent program. And now we've done 500 of these independent programs, and we couldn't have done it without your support. Thank you for being a supporter of this show, being a fan. I know when we left NORML, we lost about half our listeners. They couldn't find where we had moved to, and as things have gone throughout these past couple of years, we've welcomed more and more of them back. So we are very excited about this. Got folks in the chat room, a lot of you guys that have been hanging out for years and years. Some of you have been listening to me going all the way back to my KPOJ radio days. Thank you for all your support. Thanks to our good friend Left Wing Larry, who's in the chat room, telling me that the Ohio State University may be playing Boise State in the Fiesta Bowl. I gotta warn you, Buckeyes. We're pretty good at that Fiesta Bowl. We're pretty darn good. And I understand you lost your quarterback, so might be tough. But we've got more clips to cover here on our 500th episode Retro Spectacular. And coming up after the first break, I'm going to take you back to my interview with Gatewood Galbraith from 2010, the legendary Kentucky hempster. And he passed away recently, but his wisdom lives on. His style and his way of talking to people is something I never purposefully tried to emulate, but listening to him talk, I can see why some people make those comparisons, because I do have my certain American citizens using non-pharmaceutical, non-alcoholic, tobacco-free drugs kind of line, and Gatewood's got his lines as well that he said for years and years and years that endeared him to many. So we'll play that interview for you in its entirety coming up after the next break. And then we've got some Electric Tuesday music. Electric Bob's going to be getting on the line with us with some, looks like Japanese music. Soichi Terada will be our Electric Tuesday music for the day. Then, as we get past the 420 break, more clips from the 500th Russ Belville Show. We move on to 2012 and the Independent Show. We're going to bring you clips from our marijuana election night coverage of 2012, where our own Cannabis Carry was in Denver, Colorado, the moment that the vote was called in Colorado for Amendment 64, making it legal in Colorado. And myself in Seattle, Washington, when the vote was called for I-502, making it legal in Washington State. Following those clips, we've got clips from the month after the election in 2012, December 6th, 2012. The moment marijuana became legal in Seattle, Washington, we took the train up there and we filmed a little impromptu gathering of folks that were there to celebrate and toke openly on the very first minute of legalization in Washington state. And then at the end of the show, 2 interviews that I'm really proud of from the Russ Belville Show's most recent archives. From 2013, I visited Minneapolis, Minnesota, and spoke with Sir Richard Branson, the billionaire owner of the Virgin Empire. And also, we went up to Cannabis City in Seattle when it opened in this year for the first legal marijuana purchases. We spoke with Deb Green, who was the first person to legally purchase marijuana in the state of Washington, at least in Seattle, Washington. So all those clips are coming up on the Russ Belville Show, our 500th episode retro spectacular. Thank you for making it possible. Want to thank some of our supporters, some of our sponsors as well, including a new sponsor we picked up today who's kind of an old sponsor. We're sponsored again by the International Cannabis Business Conference, which will be taking place this time in San Francisco, California, February 14th, 15th, and 16th. I think it's just the 15th and 16th, just the weekend, at the Hyatt Regency in San Francisco, California. We will be there. The Russ Belville Show will be streaming live from the floor of the International Cannabis Business Conference and interviewing such featured speakers as Ethan Nadelman, Dr. Amanda Ryman, and Dr. Carl Hart. So we are looking forward to that. You'll see the banner and start hearing the ads for the International Cannabis Business Conference taking place in San Francisco. They're getting ready to launch in 2015. They're getting ready to launch the legalization efforts in California. Coming to the ICBC in San Francisco, February 15th and 16th could be your entryway and your initial marketing and contacts and networking for this new California green rush that's going to take place as we move toward legalization in 2016. We'll give you all the details as this week goes on and tell you about more of our product sponsors throughout the week. Please make sure you're supporting them and buy their products and tell them you heard about it on the Russ Belville Show. That helps keep us on the air. We're back right after this.
Elitist. Just like any other dishwashing, burger-flipping, public school-educated, self-employed, bar band, musician, National Guardsman, he's Radical Russ.
.420 Radio, your ticket to Seattle Hemp Fest.
Hey, this is Willie Nelson for NORML. And I smoke pot and I like it a lot. I learned a long time ago that marijuana is a lot safer than alcohol. There's nothing wrong with the responsible use of marijuana by adults. It's time we stopped arresting and started respecting those who smoke marijuana responsibly. To learn what you can do to help, contact NORML at NORML.org or call toll-free 888-67-NORML.
Jorge Cervantes TV, replaying Thursdays at 1 Pacific on 420radio.org. Welcome back, everybody, and continuing our 500th show, Retro Spectacular, we go to the interview banks where I got to interview Gatewood Galbraith. He was a long-time political gadfly, ran for governor, and was a strong champion of industrial hemp and ending the drug war. His down-home, folksy manner made him very accessible to listeners of all ages and demographics, and it was my honor and privilege to be able to speak with him shortly before his passing.
Legalization, decriminalization, lowest law enforcement priority, medical marijuana, ganja sacrament, consumer cannabis, industrial hemp. The world of marijuana law reform involves many different aspects of cannabis that interact nearly every public policy discussion in America, including healthcare, the economy, global climate change, law enforcement in prisons, immigration, religion, free speech, energy policy, and war. Now, we take a look at how re-legalizing marijuana will change the world in our NORML Show Live Cannabis Conversations.
All right, thanks for staying with us for this extended version of NORML Show Live. Joining us by telephone, I hope, is Gatewood Galbraith. Gatewood, are you there, sir?
Yes, sir, I am.
Glad to have you. And also,
can you hear me?
I can hear you just fine. We've also, I'm thinking Michael Henning and Diana Alder. Are you available on the line as well? Oh, okay. Maybe they're not hearing us, but Gateway, we'll go ahead with you here. We're talking about the movie Hempsters Plant the Seed, and this is a documentary been in the making for a while, and you're featured prominently in it. Tell us about the documentary and what we're trying to accomplish here.
Well, I'm from Kentucky and have been politically involved in trying to get the laws changed there for some time. And given Kentucky's history and heritage as the world's largest cannabis producer for over 100 years, we thought it would be a good place to start the battle. And in 1990, early 90s, Woody Harrelson came to Kentucky to plant some hemp seeds to challenge the law. And his escapade was filmed by Michael Henning and the folks with his group. And as they were there, they began archiving interviews with other activists in the realm of changing the marijuana laws. And so they got Woody, they got Willie Nelson, they got Merle Haggard, they got Julia Butterfly Hill, and then they got me. And so they put this together. They followed our efforts over many years, and they put this together in a film that examined the entire concept of changing the laws over about a 16 to 18-year period of time. And it's been updated, and it's been contemporized, and it's having its world premiere at the Archivist Film Festival here on Hollywood Boulevard in Hollywood, and it shows tonight at 9:15, and it's a great film. It captures a lot of stuff that should have been archived and is dutifully done. And it's an interesting film, and it's going to get worldwide distribution after this film festival.
That's excellent, and we love seeing more stuff. You know, one of our contributors is a vendor who does a lot of vending of hemp products, and of course he has to get all his products from China or Canada or Australia, all these other countries. And when we started mentioning that we're going to have you on the show and we're going to be talking about hemp, he was very, very excited about that. What are some things about hemp legalization here that you find are most troubling? What are some of the roadblocks we need to get past in order to legalize industrial hemp?
Well, I've kind of taken a look at it from a little different perspective than a lot of folks. I was the first hippie, I guess, to write a plan for legal marijuana for its economic benefits. I wrote that in 1976 and talked about recovering the economy, and especially the depressed economy of Kentucky, by rediscovering its history and its heritage, and rediscovering cannabis as a crop in all of its aspects, both the industrial, textile, and the medical smoking part of it. And but what I'm taking a look at, and what really motivates me, is the fact that by their illegalization of this plant, the people in charge, the man, has severed our relationship with the natural cycle of things. That they have taken upon themselves telling you that you can't plant a seed in God's earth. I don't care if it's a widget, much less marijuana. If they tell you you can't plant a seed in God's green earth, what they're doing is severing the most basic relationship we have in this birth-death cycle with our nature and with Mother Earth. So I think in order to do that the government has to have extraordinarily persuasive information that by planting that seed that you're harming yourself or other people. And not only do they have extraordinary information, they don't have one iota of information that says planting the seed is going to act to the detriment of the human individual. And then the United States of America, a true patriot and a nationalist, we ought to have much more freedom than to be able to be self-determinative and sovereign human beings to be able to plant seed in the earth to consume the green natural plant that comes up out of it. So hemp and cannabis became iconic on the turnaround from America as the home of the brave and land of the free over to a depressed, controlled economy and controlled population. And so, given the history and heritage of Kentucky as the leadership in that, I thought it was important that the challenge to this fascism, the challenge to this tyranny, come from a state like Kentucky. And so, since no one else was doing it, I kind of stepped up and took the leadership role on that. I wanted to thank Rick Cusick. I want to thank all the heroes that have gone before us in what they're trying to do. Jack Hare became a real dear friend of mine, and I delivered his eulogy at his funeral. And so I want to pay tribute to all the activists out there. And this film, The Hipsters, is a tribute, in fact, to many folks, we're going to dedicate it to Jack Herr tonight at the premiere on Hollywood Boulevard.
That's excellent. This is at the Artivist Film Festival taking place Hollywood Boulevard, 9:15 p.m. Pacific time. We're speaking with Gatewood Galbraith, a longtime hemp activist and, of course, a former candidate for governor in Kentucky.
Candidate now, my friend.
You're running again.
I'm running for governor.
Oh, excuse me.
I'm running as an independent in November 2000. Well, I've run before. I'm running as an independent candidate in 2011, and it looks just absolutely excellent. We had the chance to put Kentucky at the forefront and to break a lot of new ground. If I get to be governor, the whole ball game changes.
Absolutely.
We're going to ground at one of the helicopters hovering over the fields and gardens of the people of the state of Kentucky. This is America, not Afghanistan, and we're not an occupied territory, and we're not going to treat our citizens like we are one. You know, our fathers and grandfathers didn't fight on the beaches of Normandy and Iwo Jima so you FP and got the whole job in America.
That's right.
We're going to try to lift Kentucky out into prosperity by rediscovering the principles that made America great, the sovereignty of the individual, self-determination, and rights to privacy, which have been absolutely decimated in this war on the people in the guise of the war on drugs.
Yeah, absolutely. Well spoken, sir. You mentioned how the government is, the man is keeping us down by, breaking our bond with the most sacred thing we can do, plant a seed, something that connects us to the earth. And you say they should have to demonstrate, a great harm in order to have that power. And in that respect, with that in mind, do you see that cannabis as a recreational substance or as a drug, so-called drug, impedes the fight for legalizing industrial hemp because the man can say, well, there's a harm from the drug? Do you see that?
That's what this whole film is about, my friend, is hipsters plant the seed. I wrote a book called The Last Free Man in America Meets the Synthetic Subversion. And what I say today is that the big battle between the natural cycle and the synthetic cycle. All the kinds of commodities of civilization, fiber, fuel, medicine, and food that used to be produced by the farmer from the land has now been taken over by the synthetic manufacturers, and they did that by outlawing the farmer and criminalizing the farmer in the production of his natural products. So there's a great number of people out there who run the synthetic products that are attempting to keep it from changing, the laws from changing back. I call them the petrochemical, pharmaceutical, military, industrial, transnational, and corporate fascist elite son of a bitches who see the Constitution and the Bill of Rights as impediments. Are you getting that distracted noise too?
Oh, I'm sorry about that. We've got it. Hold on.
There you go. That's no longer there.
Okay,
right.
Go ahead.
We okay?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, yeah. There's a lot of people who are setting policy in this country, the United States of America right now, who have never said the Pledge of Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America or to the republic for which it stands. They're not warm and fuzzy about us or our children, and they see the Constitution and the Bill of Rights as impediments to the implementation of a new world order and global economy. And as I say, I call them the petrochemical, pharmaceutical, military, industrial, transnational, corporate fascists and son of a bitches, who have taken the cannabis plant, which is the most productive and the most valuable plant ever domesticated by man. It's not the answer to all the world's problems, but it sure is iconic in that it's the answer to more than any other plant is. And so they are dead set against the people reclaiming this plant as a heritage and as a tool to make life a little better for everybody. So I think that they're going to throw everything, including the kitchen sink, at us to try to keep us from making the change in these laws. But I favor what my friend Mark Emery says when his slogan is "Overgrow the government," and I think that the critical mass has been reached in that, and I think that the laws are going to change. But what we must do is keep it in the hands of the people who are putting the market together right now, and have put the market together, and keep it out of the hands of corporate America. They're up to no good, and we ought not let them have it.
Absolutely. The movie is Hempsters Plant the Seed. It's at the Artivist Film Festival tonight, Hollywood Boulevard, Hollywood, California, 9:15 p.m. And Gatewood Galbraith, you're running for governor of Kentucky. How can people help you in the fight to claim that office?
Thank you so much, my friend. I've run before, but this time the dissatisfaction is so broad and deep that a lot of people want to vote for change that never did before. They can go to gatewood.com, see what it's all about, and I'll give you the world's shortest political speech. If I was going to lie to you, I'd already been elected governor.
Thank you so much, Gatewood Galbraith, and good luck. Yeah, there will never be another one like Gatewood Galbraith. He'll be remembered forever in the marijuana movement. And we are so happy that we have legalized industrial hemp here in the state of Oregon with our Measure 91, that Colorado and Washington have joined us as well.
Hey, everybody, we're all going to get laid.
Wouldn't that be nice? It's 20 after 4:20 here in the Pacific time zone. Hope you have the opportunity to enjoy your 420. And remember, we're fighting hard to make that 420 legal for you, no matter where you live. If you'd like to help us do that, become a VIP member of 420radio.org. Visit 420radio.org/donate today. .420 Radio, your ticket to the High Times Cannabis Cups.
What's to keep somebody from getting all potted up on weed and then getting behind the wheel?
The Russ Belville Show reminds you to never smoke and drive impaired. Hang out for a while. Share.
NORML stands for Responsible Adult Cannabis Use. If cannabis use is causing problems in your life, consider taking a break or seeking medical assistance. Consider ceasing cannabis use if you have a family history of mental illness. Don't drive or operate heavy machinery while impaired by cannabis use. Cannabis use is not without risks, even though the risks are far less than those posed by legal drugs. Hey Tokers and Tokettes, Radical Russ here for the Canador, a practical solution to keep herbs from drying. The Canador is the perfect airtight storage system for your fine herbs, from the half-inch thick walnut and cherry wood construction, clear top perforated jars for storage, and the humidity bead system that keeps your herbs at a perfect 65% relative humidity. I keep all my herbs in the Canador, and you should too. Check out Canador.com for more information.
Everyone knows music and marijuana go together, so let's wind up our 20 after break with the Russ Belville Show's Daily Toker Tunes, the best in pod-safe 420 music from around the web. Today is Electric Tuesday, featuring the latest in electronic dance music and other cutting-edge genres. Now, sit back and enjoy your Daily Toker Tunes.
Welcome back, everyone. 22 and a half after the hour, and as we continue our 500th show, Retro Spectacular, I've got to give thanks to the music editors who make this little segment of Hour 2 possible. Of course, we're talking about Bacon Dan on Mondays, Electric Bob on Tuesdays, Gordon Green on Wednesdays, Chuck Diesel on Thursdays, and Herb Thrasher on Fridays. Sorry, I had a little brain fart there for a moment. And joining us here on our Tuesday Daily Toker Tunes, we've got Electric Bob on the line. Hi, Bob. How you doing?
I'm doing good, Russ. How you doing? Happy 500th episode.
Well, thank you, man. Thank you so much for being a part of this show and, joining us every week, bringing us a cool song. I always tell people that this is one of the hardest parts of the show for me is getting the tunes because, as much time as I'm spending, researching marijuana and politics and all that, I don't have time to keep up on popular music. So you guys give me a perspective that I wouldn't normally have, and you make the show a lot more diverse for the people listening to it. So thanks again for all the work you do.
Oh yeah, for sure. And I was just thinking about it today. I've been with the show for about a year now because it was December of last year is when I first started doing it.
Right on, man. Well, that's excellent. And, there's a good chance that we'll make a trip down to Arizona sometime soon. According to Left Wing Larry, Boise State might be playing the Fiesta Bowl. I might have to catch me a flight down to Phoenix and see that game.
Oh, well, I might have to hang out with you then.
We'll do that. All right. So we've got some cool music for today. We always have a lot of variety here in Electric Tuesday of different styles of electronic music. This one apparently coming from, is it Japan or is this band Japanese American?
That was the song I was going to put last week. I actually put a new song up because the record label I'm running, we just released a single. Let
me go get that.
Yeah, it's I put it in the jar. It's a Rolling Paper. He's he's an artist out of Hamilton, Ontario, Canada, and the song's Urban Tapestry. And the label I'm running, Dark Till Dawn, we just released it on our SoundCloud, and we've actually gotten 500 plays in under 24 hours, so I'm pretty excited about that.
That's really cool, man. Okay, so Rolling Paper is the name of the artist, and the song is Urban Tapestry. Is that right?
Yes.
All right, well, let's get into it. The Dark Till Dawn exclusive from our own Electric Bob. Thanks, man.
No problem.
420 Radio, turning red states and blue states green. Are you a hypocrite? If you live a closeted cannabis lifestyle, you are. Read about 7 people living a closeted cannabis lifestyle who are on the verge of coming out in The Hypocrites by Mara K. Eaton. Available at areyouahypocrite.net. You can purchase the book on Amazon and Barnes & Noble, also available on iTunes. Check out Mara K. Eaton on Facebook as well. Learn more at areyouahypocrite.net. Growing plants indoors can be a rewarding hobby, but electricity bills can go through the roof. Then you have to cool down all those big hot lights. It can drive a grower insane. With Lush LED lighting, you can solve many of these issues and double your rewards. Matt and his scientists have developed the perfect light for flowering plants with far less cost and heat. And the results? Very effective. Check out LushLEDlighting.com right now and tell them Radical Russ sent you. Welcome back, everyone. 31 after the hour, and continuing our look at our 500th show retro spectacular. We continued on with NORML Show Live throughout 2010, 2011, and the first half of 2012. I left NORML in May of 2012, and in June restarted the network that is now 420 Radio and the Russ Belville Show as legalization began happening throughout America. 420 Radio. Tune in, turn on, get...
Okay, we're going to jump to Carrie.
Where it is now legal for marijuana.
Yes, here, we're tuning in. She probably has it muted just to... Yeah. No, can't
no,
hear.
we can't hear Mason.
Can't hear anything. Oh, wait, sorry. I've got... There's some issues.
There's Seattle. Is that Russ?
Russ, is that you?
Alton.
Okay. Yeah, that's Russ out in Seattle.
Excitement over the presidential race being called here. Right now, the I-502 vote is coming in. We're currently at 53%, 5%.
Yeah. Yep, so we got 53% confirmed on I-502 up in Washington, which is, winning so far.
Were you able to get Kaliko and Sam on?
I tried to add and...
Do we got Carrie? I think we've got Carrie on the line. Carrie?
Can you hear us, Carrie?
You can hear me, but they just did call officially for 64, and the crowd is going crazy. There's hearts, there's tears. People are just going nuts. It's so exciting that Colorado has finally legalized marijuana and started this conversation with the federal government. They are celebrating here. Mason Converters had a few words, and all of the local news media outlets have now called the race. The No on 64 campaign has conceded that the race is over, and it's currently celebrating deep into the night.
I just heard a cry.
And this is... Oh, sorry. Yeah, we lost Carrie, but this is a historic night.
So
we have legalized marijuana.
This is beautiful. Seriously, people. I mean, if you've been in this movement at all, then you know, this is something huge.
It's historic. 70 years of marijuana prohibition was just ended
Look at
tonight.
the hugs and the people
I still wish that there were people here to see it, and I wish that here in Oregon we were more of a unified community so that we could all celebrate this moment together. Even whether 80 passes or not, we should be celebrating for our brothers and sisters who fought, against us in Colorado, and all those other people outside the state who made their family and friends influence to vote for Colorado's initiative to legalize marijuana. I've got a big lump in my throat.
This is so beautiful.
I'm dumbfounded, that twice in our life when President Carter was in place,
we fought the law and we won.
I can't even think right now. I'm so excited. I am thrilled that we have a state
We're
that said, in the middle of the frickin' country, by the way, if you want to put your marijuana flag anywhere, right smack dab in the middle of the country and say Colorado is legalizing, let the ripple wave
and let's
there.
take this a step further, because one of the big arguments against legalization in all three states has been the feds won't let us, they won't let us regulate, they won't let us tax, blah, blah, blah. Let me just remind you that Colorado's been doing that for like almost a year now.
Yeah, they've already been taxing the
and
dispensaries.
Nobody's been threatened. No officials have been arrested. They've made revenue. Colorado has a precedent in having done this. So for them to then say that you couldn't now, I mean, they're not going to win that argument.
No.
Prohibition has ended today. Have we gotten any updates on the Arkansas measure? It seems like that those should be coming in, but I haven't heard anything about this yet.
Yeah,
Russ?
Jennifer, I can give you a little bit of update there, Jennifer. Checking out the results that are being posted on CNN.com on Arkansas Issue 5, the medical marijuana initiative, with 61% of the vote counted. It's still sitting at 48% support. So not promising for Arkansas medical marijuana, but really, when you consider that we're talking about the first southern state to ever vote on this, I think 48% is a moral victory.
Definitely. And with only 60% of the vote in, that is still rather close. It's not completely called yet, but it's not looking good. But yeah, that's a huge win for the first southern state to be considering this issue.
There are some southeastern border counties in Arkansas that have yet to be counted. I don't know my geography that well of Arkansas, but I'm imagining those might be some more urban areas. So we'll see if that number gets pushed up any. The latest results I've seen on Oregon's Measure 80 has kept it at 45% last I was checking, and the only counties so far passing Measure 80 are Multnomah County, which is where Portland is located, of course, and then Lincoln County, which is it's on the Oregon coast, central Oregon coast. It's the home of the casino there in Lincoln City. So far, the only two counties in Oregon that seem to be passing Measure 80. Looking at I-502 in Washington, it has passed. The news organizations are calling it for I-502 passing. Looking at a county-by-county results, for those of us in the Portland area, we might be interested on how Clark County turned out. That's Vancouver, Washington. And it's a 50-50 split in Vancouver, Washington for support of legalization. Luckily, that law passes no matter what Clark County says, and Iva, we're going to be driving across the river and enjoying some 502 stores in the future.
Honey, I'm going to be driving across the river tonight. I don't know in what vehicle. I am going across the river tonight, and I'm going to enjoy. Oh, I shouldn't say that on the air, should I? I just realized we haven't got our legalization here in Oregon yet.
Don't forget, Washington has that driving under the influence privilege, so you need to get a hotel and crash there for the night.
That's right.
I do want to point out something really quick on those Oregon numbers, though. I mean, even if people are getting a little discouraged seeing that, with only 45% approval, let me just point out that when we voted on marijuana dispensaries only 2 years ago, it was pretty close to that number. I want to say that it concluded with 46% support. So to have 45% of Oregonians saying, yes, we should legalize marijuana, that is a message for our legislature. That is a message for Oregonians. That means that we're getting the same. I said when we failed with the dispensaries that I believe that there was more support for legalization, because the question of medical marijuana is creating kind of a quasi-legal under this prohibition umbrella, which does create conflict.
Right.
If we just would legalize it for all adults, it removes all of that conflict immediately. Right. And most people recognize that. And I think that's what we're seeing here in Oregon, that even if we don't pass it, that we are looking for something better than medical marijuana towards legalization.
I can, sure.
Okay, where are you from?
I'm from Portland, Oregon.
Oh, very nice.
Yes. And took the train up here, and the train literally left at 4:20. I'm not making it up.
Did you take that one?
Yeah, we took the 4:20 train up here, yes.
All right, what's your full name? Can you spell it for me?
My name is Russ Belville, RussBelville, and I'm from Portland, Oregon, and I'm the host of the Russ Belville Show. And all the things right there.
All the way from Portland.
All the way from Portland.
Right here with all the Seattle and Washington folks.
Absolutely.
Why?
Because this is a historic event, of course, where we're finally recognizing the liberty that we deserve, and that is to be left alone in our personal choices using a recreational intoxicant that's far safer than alcohol.
In Portland tonight, what's the talk there as they watch here what's going on in Washington?
It's very interesting. The state's largest newspaper, the Oregonian, has called on our legislature to legalize marijuana because they're afraid, with so much of our population living so close to the Washington border, that all of that money, tourism, jobs are all going to flow right across the Columbia. So they're looking at doing this legislatively.
So what's your purpose in being here tonight?
I'm the host of the Russ Belville Show. We do a live weekday talk radio show on medical marijuana, industrial hemp, and recreational cannabis issues, the various state laws, news, interviews, and so forth. So this is my job.
And as far as watching it from Oregon, out here and what's going on in Washington, what do you think about the process that it started? Obviously tonight police aren't out here giving citations, they're giving verbal warnings, so there's still things that are in the process, and the fact that they're waiting to...
You know, Seattle in particular has done a great job with this, with the I-75 and having the lowest priority for marijuana for the longest time. The Seattle City Attorney, Pete Holmes, has long time now said he's not going to prosecute minor marijuana possession. So in a sense, in this area, it's felt legal for a while. This just codifies what the people of Washington really want in their policies.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Have a safe time.
You too. According to the U.S. atomic clock, we are 1 minute away from legal marijuana in Washington State. All right, all my friends out there in the chat room, thank you so much for being a part of this show. I wouldn't be here in Seattle for this history-making event if it wasn't for you and all of the donations and all the sponsorships and all the support and telling all your friends. Thank you so much. This is a dream come true. I can't believe this is my job, and it's the best job. 30 seconds! 30 seconds! All right, folks. Are we ready for legalization out there? I think we're ready for legalization. We are just about ready. All right, 15 seconds to go. Can you feel the legalization in the air? 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Happy Legalization Day! Good time. You can hear, I don't know if you can hear, Smoke Two Joints is the first song to be played in legal Seattle. There are no police here whatsoever. People are openly smoking on the news. I can see the Como News people over there. Let me see, I'll get you a live shot out that way. You can see the Como News people in the background filming some guy smoking. I'm trying to smoke, but I keep losing my lighter.
At Herbie's Cannabis Seeds, we pride ourselves on bringing you the best quality seeds from the world's most respected cannabis seed producers, all at the lowest online prices. You can find Herbie's seeds at herbiesheadshop.com. All cannabis seeds are sold as souvenirs and as a means of preserving cannabis genetics. Herbie's Seeds in no way intends to condone, promote, or incite the use of illegal or controlled substances. We strongly urge all prospective customers to check their national laws prior to placing an order. Herbie's Seeds at herbiesheadshop.com. Proud sponsors of the Russ Belville Show and 420 Radio. When you are starting up a medical cannabis business, you want a fired-up lawyer who understands the needs of cannabis consumers. The law office of Lauren Vasquez is your fired-up lawyer for the cannabis industry. Visit her website, fireduplawyer.com, or call 1-855-MMJ-LAWS for more information. That's 855-665-5297 for Lauren Vasquez, your fired-up lawyer, or email fireduplawyer@gmail.com.
Welcome back to our 500th episode retro spectacular here on 420radio.org's The Russ Belville Show. As we moved on from the 2012 election, things gathered steam throughout 2013 and 2014, leading to this most recent election. In 2013, I was in Minneapolis. I got a chance to interview Virgin Enterprises billionaire Sir Richard Branson and his opinions on the war on drugs.
What's this for?
My name is Russ Belville. I'm the 420 Radio and High Times Magazine.
Fine, perfect.
Do 24-hour news on organizations.
Very good.
We're here with Sir Richard Branson from the Virgin Empire, I guess we could call it. And thank you for coming here to St. Paul and speaking with us today. We just saw the film Breaking the Taboo, and one of the major elements that was a part of this was the corruption and the money being spent and a lot of the money being made by the drug cartels. However, we recently saw the big bank HSBC was found guilty of laundering about $9 billion in drug cartel money. How much of this war on drugs owes to high finance, the big banking industries, and do you see any way of breaking this war on drugs without addressing that issue?
I haven't given it a lot of thought, to be honest. We've concentrated on whether or not the current war is doing damage to people or not doing damage to people. And the Global Commission on Drugs has come out very clearly in saying that far more damage is being done to people by the current approach than by changing it to a different approach. And what we're arguing is that drugs should be treated as a health problem, not a criminal problem, and that we shouldn't be locking up our children, we shouldn't be locking up our brothers and sisters, and we shouldn't be locking up other people's children and brothers and sisters. We should be helping them get back, get back on a normal path. And I think if we do that, and we take drugs away from the cartels, then the problems you mentioned with both banks and the cartels should go away, and we should be able to concentrate on helping that small minority of people who have issues.
Mm-hmm. We saw in the film a lot of movement in South America and Central America where the leaders there, it used to be just once they got out of office they would address this problem. Now the President of Colombia addressing it in office. What do you see, is that pressure from the Organization of American States having an effect on Washington, D.C., and to some extent Ottawa as well? Are they beginning to realize that this is a hemispheric problem that needs to be addressed?
I hope so. I mean, I think the fact that President Obama has not sent in the federal authorities to close down Washington State, having voted the legalization of marijuana, indicates that that he would like to see some experiments, and he'd like to see the public's reaction to that. And so my feeling is that it could well spill over from South America to North America and to the rest of the world.
Yeah, we'd like to see that. And we saw President Clinton in the movie referring to his brother Roger having a cocaine addiction problem, and many people that I interview that are involved in trying to end the war on drugs, there's a personal aspect to it. Is there a personal aspect to this for you that was the aha moment that made you want to get involved with this? I mean, I'm sure you've got a lot on your plate. What made you want to get involved with this?
Well, I've having run a record company for many years, I've seen, I've lost artists. Somebody was talking about the Sex Pistols earlier. Sid Vicious was a heroin addict. We've nearly lost other artists. Boy George from Culture Club, we very nearly lost. I've obviously tried to help people who've got problems, and the police is intervening with us helping to get them. And Boy George was arrested in my home when he was actually when we had him there under treatment. Set him back by 4 or 5 years, and finally got himself clean. So yes, I think that those of us who've had personal experience in situations like this are better able to understand the problem than those who haven't. With
the example of Portugal in Europe, just so close, and the Netherlands, we're still seeing in the UK what we call in America reefer madness. I mean, Professor Nutt lost his job by saying ecstasy was safer than horseback riding, for example. Are you making efforts in Europe as well, and how are the parliaments and various legislative bodies in France, Britain, Germany reacting to this message of breaking the taboo?
Well, the Global Commission on Drugs has met with the House of Commons Select Committee, and the House of Commons Select Committee came out with a report after that saying that the policy needs to be changed, and we're hopeful that policy will be changed. Britain is better than quite a few countries in that we are, although it's not actually written in law, by and large, drugs are treated as a health problem, not a criminal problem, and there are a lot of needle exchange centres in Britain, but there's further they could go.
While the United States has driven a lot of this drug war, much of it's tied in with international treaties and the UN level, do you feel that the other community of nations, the European community, the South American community, can make this change without the United States getting involved, or is the United States going to have to be a part of this?
Look, ideally, as many countries as possible should be a part of it, and I think that in some ways the United States is actually moving quite quickly with things like the medical marijuana centres, cropping up throughout America, and so I think by de facto, United States in some areas is actually moving quicker than some other countries, and therefore it would be very hypocritical of them to continue, I think, with the current stance.
Thank you. And one final question: if a person wanted to get a job with one of the Virgin companies, is there a drug test involved?
I suspect for our pilots, or our astronauts, but yes. I doubt for any other position in Virgin.
Well, good luck with the Global Commission. Thank you for sitting down with us, and I hope Virgin Galactic takes off soon, because I want to go.
Well, it will be, and I look forward to getting you up there.
Thank you so much.
Thanks very much. Cheers.
It was exciting to interview Sir Richard Branson. I was very nervous for that interview, and I rarely get nervous speaking to people, but he's someone that I've always admired and was very excited to be able to speak to him. Our final clip for our 500th show retrospectacular takes us to Cannabis City in July of 2013. They were the first pot shop to open in Seattle, Washington. We were there for the grand opening, and we caught up with Deb Green, the Seattle woman who was the first Seattleite to legally buy marijuana in Washington State.
Because I just figured, you guys were just a couple of you, the local stations, maybe a couple of national people, but yeah, it's pretty overwhelming.
Everybody, even the press, for legal purposes, we need this part of the sign off clear. Move back to the yellow. Thank you. Even the press, thank you. Talk a little bit about that experience, going through and seeing all the different choices.
Well, the good news was before I went in there, I did go over and talk to Leafly and say, okay, guys, give me some ideas because I really don't know where I'm going. So they were very nice and very helpful, and we talked about the one I wanted to save and the one I wanted to smoke, and they gave me those choices, and I went in there and said, okay, this is what I want, because they have these counters. It's like chocolate in a chocolate factory, only they're all little packages. And I'm sorry I can't take them out. They are sealed and they're stable, but you'll get your offer.
Deb, you waited almost 24 hours to walk in those doors. What did it feel like when you went inside?
Hot? No. It was hot, but it was exhilarating. In fact, the very first thing I did was find Allison and give her a big hug and thank her for all of her efforts in bringing this to us all. Because really, without her, we couldn't have done it.
What does this mean for you? Earlier, you were telling me about freedom.
Well, it just means that, I don't have to sneak around. I don't have to, pass money and look for somebody to do that. And I get choices. My gosh. Who'd have thought? It used to be, hey, I got some good bud
Everybody,
here.
we really need the sidewalk clear back behind the yellow line.
No, wait,
Back
more yellow line. More yellow line. She pushed me once before. I moved up.
Deb, did you ever think that you would be so integral in this process here?
Oh, heck no.
How does that make you feel?
Excited.
You seem almost emotional.
I am, and I don't know why. But it is. It's a wonderful feeling. I can't wait to go home and smoke at my own and enjoy it. And I hope you all get your opportunities as well. So buy some. They need your business.
Did they tell you that it needs to stay sealed and stapled?
We talked about it, and yeah, that's kind of the requirement. So that's fine.
Is that their store requirement?
I don't know.
Yeah.
I just respected what they said. You follow the rules. That's what I've been taught to do. So.
What did you say about your ashes? You're going to have your ashes?
Well, yeah, I'm not going to smoke this. It's going to go someplace that, it is an integral part of our history in the city of Seattle. So I thought maybe Mohi might like it when I'm gone. So I'm going to write on the back to my family about my ashes. I'm going to say put my ash in first. And that way they'll know that that's where it is.
You don't want your family to smoke it?
No way.
That could be trouble.
No, but hey, if I'm not smoking it, they're not smoking it.
Do you feel liberated, or do you feel?
Oh, totally.
Do you feel a relief? Do you feel a relief?
Yeah, I do. I did. Actually, I have to admit, I felt it more when the vote came through than now. But now it's just sweet. It's just a sweet victory.
Do you think it took too long?
No, it had to take its course. And, too long, yeah. Maybe if you wanted to be 16 and smoke a dope and have it illegal. But now it's regulated. It's in a form that we can at least start to manage and maybe take some of the scariness away from the other people who don't really know about it.
I haven't seen in there. What does it look like?
I do. I have to
tell them about smoking pot.
wait till they're old enough. It's no different than drinking, in my opinion. It's the same vice, as long as it's done in moderation like anything else.
Deb, what was the cost?
So I have 4 packets, and it was $160. So with tax included, it was $40.
Is that more than you expected, or less?
Well, it's exactly what I expected if I'd have bought what I said I was going to buy. But instead of doubling it, I was just so excited. So I wound up spending twice. Yeah. That goes my allowance. Yeah, absolutely.
Were you surprised by the process? Anything that you think did very smoothly?
I'm sorry.
Is there anything that you think should have been better about this whole process?
In terms of today,
or the regulations, or?
Well, any regulation that's out there is going to need some question about that. I understand the medical marijuana people have DUI things going on, and I totally think that needs to be looked at. I'm not in any position, but in terms of how it's done today,
what do you say to people who oppose recreational marijuana?
Just try it. Someday you will try it, and you'll know that it's not easy. And yet, there are people who don't have to. Okay?
So there you have it, a look at the history of the Russ Belville Show, dating all the way back from 2006, winning the nationwide search for the next great progressive talk radio star through podcasting with NORML, and now for the past 2.5 years, independent podcaster and live streaming. at the Russ Belville Show, radicalruss.com, and 420radio.org. That's all the time we got for show number 500, but stay tuned for tomorrow's show 501. We continue with our regularly scheduled programs of news and interviews you can use for the cannabis community. We got 2 interviews tomorrow. Hemp Day Hump Day with Doug Fine. He's going to give us the latest updates on what's happening in the world of industrial hemp. And Roselda Neufville from High Def Transit in San Francisco, a taxi service for stoners. That's all the time we got. Thanks for joining us. Until next time, take care of each other, Tokers.
This is the Russ Belville Show. The Russ Belville Show is blogging and podcasting daily at radicalruss.com.
You take a seed, you plant it, you grow it, you dry it, you roll it, you smoke it. You take a seed, you plant it, you grow it, you dry it, you roll it, you smoke it. You take a seed, you plant it.